Welcome to the Roy Rundown, a podcast designed to share insights and secrets from top experts in the college sports landscape, guiding you along your own path to success. Join us in real time as we build Roy, dive into the latest NIL trends, and uncover stories from the movers and shakers in the sports business space. You'll hear from an all-star lineup of guests, including athletes, coaches, agents, fans, athletic administrators, and more. Whether you're a student athlete, passionate fan, or anyone in between, this is your go-to resource for leveling up in the new age of college sports.
Welcome back to the Roy Rundown. Today we've got another game-changing college athlete joining us, known for his exceptional defensive skills, a significant contributor to his team's success, and most recently, the SEC Championship MVP, more importantly, a leader in the community as well. Cornerback for University of Georgia, Daylen Everette. Daylen, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So we'll start off here. Obviously, we know a lot about how good you are at football and, kind of a little bit of your recruiting process, which we'll get into, but I'll give you the stage to just share with the audience, like your upbringing and, how you got involved with football, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, well, so I'm from Norfolk, Virginia, so a little far from home, not too far, but, actually, it's funny, my first sport was actually soccer. So I played soccer for a little bit, I know, when I was 5, I didn't really know what was going on, so, I was just, picking flowers or whatever on the field, so I didn't really know what was going on. But I started to get better the more I played it. But then I remember my dad he called me into his room one day and was like, you ever thought about playing football? You want to play football? I was like, yeah, I'll try it. And he was like, yeah, you get to hit people and you don't get in trouble. And then when he said that, I was pretty much sold me. I was like, well, shoot, I'll do that. So, been playing football since I was about 8, and went to high school in Virginia, Norview High School. Went there my freshman and sophomore year. I didn't really start getting offers and stuff like that until sophomore year, because that's kind of the breakout season. I kind of had a breakout season, and then that's when that COVID had hit. So then we weren't playing football. It was we didn't know what was going on. There was a chance we wouldn't have a season. There was a chance we would still have one. But then they finally told us, they're like, we're not going to have a season in Virginia. And we also might not have a season in the spring. So I was kind of bummed out by that. And so someone, I don't know how, but someone at IMG had found that out. And they had hit me up and it was like, hey, I'm sorry to hear y'all not playing football in Virginia and stuff like that. But it was like, but we still playing football in Florida, if you wanted the opportunity to come to IMG and stuff like that. So I went and made that move just because, I just wanted to play ball. So I was at IMG for a year and a half, and then that's when I ended up being at Georgia.
That's awesome. And so I know you come from an athletic family there, and, how did growing up with, you got a couple of brothers, and, I know you talked about your dad sharing football with you and kind of getting you into the sport. How did growing up with those, with your brothers impact, I guess, your style of play, or, how good you became, how quickly?
I'd say growing up with two brothers that are also athletes, it gets real competitive around the house. So we always oh, I'm better than you at this, I'm better than you at this. And we always do that. But then at the same time, it's we always if it's something we'll work out. We always work out with each other to get each other better and stuff like that. So it was definitely fun and competitive. That's what made it fun, the competitiveness.
No doubt. All right. So now you're down at IMG. Obviously, a pretty sought after recruit, a 5-star recruit. Can you walk me through the recruiting process a little bit? I mean, I've been down on campus there. I've kind of walked through, obviously, the basketball side, the football side. I forget if it's still called the Gatorade Performance Center, top-notch stuff. So in your mind, you're okay, you're coming from, an elite program. What are you looking for? And what ultimately, obviously you could talk a little bit about committing somewhere else first and then decommitting. Walk me through that process and how you ultimately ended up at Georgia.
Well, it's pretty crazy, actually. I was originally committed to Clemson to play football, and so I committed there July of 2021 and was pretty much committed the whole year. And then something happened. It was a coaching change. So the defensive coordinator at the time was Coach Venables, and he ended up taking the head coaching job at Oklahoma. And like he was like really a big reason why I wanted to go there. And like when he had left, it kind of got weird. Like it was some stuff that was happening. It was kind of weird, but I chose to decommit. And then because I decommitted maybe like 2 or 3 days before signing day, something like that. And then I ended up committing to Georgia because I was still like talking to them on the back end just a little bit, but we still had that type of relationship just because I took my visit there in the summer, and I was still cool with some of the coaches that were still there. So.
And talk about that. Like we'll get into NIL in a little bit in the transfer portal, but talk about that process. Like I think, during that process, I can imagine that some fans might have got upset with you, but it's very analogous to real life. Like if you're applying for a job at a company to work for a CEO or a manager, and that manager leaves somewhere else, you can still consider that same job, but you might want to go to apply for a different job. So talk about like what that process was like, and again, like dive deeper into, all right, this is why you're going to Georgia. Like what really attracted you to commit to Georgia after that?
Well, I mean, I was so like even like when I first committed to Clemson, like it was either going to be Clemson or Georgia. Like I had a good relationship with both schools, but like I was in contact with Clemson more. Like I was talking to them for longer and stuff like that. So I felt more comfortable with them. But like once the stuff kind of fell out, like Georgia still like they welcomed me with open arms. It was like, well, like we still want you here. Like, we still want you to be a part of the team and stuff like that. So I just went ahead and made it happen.
Awesome. And so let's keep diving into Georgia here. For fans that might not be aware, or the audience listening, obviously they know it's a school that's pretty good at football. But talk about campus, talk about the community, talk about the actual fans at the game.
Oh, well, starting with the campus, it's not like it's a pretty big campus, but it's kind of like out the way at the same time. That's kind of why I like it, because it's never too much going on. And like the fans are they're pretty crazy. I'll say. Like I know I've been barked at a few times, like especially my freshman year, like just coming on campus, like even just like going to class or something. Like I've been barked at. It was kind of weird, just like first being like, well, why is he barking at me? And,
like barked at in like a good way?
Yeah, in a good way, like in a good way. Because like that's what Dawg fans do and stuff like that. Like,
of course.
It was weird because I was like why are they doing that? But then I was like, I guess this is what they do. But the fans here, they definitely bring juice when like you need them to. So.
And what about in-game experience, right? So like how I mean, I think it goes overlooked a lot how impactful fans can be to help you guys win. Like, when you're playing a home game and the opposing team's in there, like how loud are they? How much do they actually fuel you guys when you need it during the game?
Oh yeah, especially if it's like a big game, the fans they'll get loud. And then like a big example of that, even I could use examples from this year, but even my freshman year, like when we played Tennessee, and they were number one team coming in to Athens, and just the type of energy that the fans came with that day, it was crazy. Like it was someone like standing right next to me, and it was so loud I couldn't even hear what they were saying. It was just crazy. I'm like, yo, it's like super loud in here, and like, you could tell it affected the game.
And what about I think obviously fans see highlights, fans see you walking through I'm sorry, people watching TV see you walking through the fans pregame. But what about like in the community? Have you ever had a situation where you ran into a fan or a fan came running up to you and like it just made you kind of feel a certain type of way, like humbled that this fan's coming to take a picture with you? Like, can you even go anywhere on campus without someone trying to take a selfie?
I mean, it's not like you get it occasionally, but it's not like an everyday thing. And, it's like it's not really something that you like look for. Like you just trying to go about your day, and then like someone to see it and then be like, oh, can I take a picture? And usually, if I'm not in a rush or anything, I'll be like, sure, just because like I won't mind taking a picture or whatever. So
No doubt. So we obviously understand that the fans there are pretty crazy and supportive, but I wanna shift a little bit, just a couple quick topics about football. So two things. First one is going viral. So I was watching your game versus Texas, the first game,
Yeah.
and I saw you had quite a hit on. I don't know if we want to mention the opposing quarterback by first name, but we'll say you were playing Texas. You forced a fumble. I believe you actually recovered the fumble as well. But then
Yeah.
that moment went viral. Like, talk about first the play, because that was a massive hit, and then second, talk about when you started noticing like the virality of that play and seeing clips and clips and clips on social media.
Yeah. Well, with the play, when the coach had called the play, I got kind of excited because I'm like, well, I don't really get the opportunity to blitz like that. So this one of the rare times that I'm able to. So just try to make the most out of it. And like I lined up, and then once the ball had snapped, I was running. The offensive tackle, like I thought for some reason it was gonna come out and block me, but he didn't block me. So then I had a free run, and then the running back also stepped up in the pocket. So then I was like in my head, like I saw like I had a clear lane to him, and I was like, just like don't do anything else, just run and just get him. And like that's all I had going on in my head so I was just trying to run as fast as I can to get him, and then the play that's just what happened. And
And
then
what about the social part?
I didn't really see it until after the game. Like I was like I saw like everywhere, like I'll scroll on Instagram, scroll on Twitter, TikTok, like it was just everywhere, and I was just like, dang, it's really like blowing up. It was crazy.
And so the second one, football wise here, obviously coming off, it also happened to involve same team, but coming off SEC championship and SEC championship MVP. What does that mean to you?
Oh, it means a lot. Just that's it's a big award to get in a type of game like that. But like just I couldn't do it without any of my teammates and any of my coaches. So I always like appreciate them for that. Just how they push me to become better every day. So
And so let's transition here a little bit to NIL. Obviously, NIL is a reality here. It's a reality in college sports today, and we all know that college sports are fueled by passionate fans, and a lot of them. So I guess what is your first reaction when you learn that you can make money and monetize your name, image, and likeness, and how has that affected you and some of your teammates to this day? Like, how important is NIL in the reality of the new landscape of college football?
no, it's crazy. Like when I first found out we could do it, it was like it was just crazy to me because like you get the opportunity to make money to help your family and stuff like that, or you really just do like it's just your money, you can do whatever with it. But yeah, it's just crazy when we found that out.
And so I want to talk a little bit about Roy. Obviously, we talked about the app allowing fans to directly support specific players. What are some things that you like about the app, and what is it that excites you that it allows both fans to do, but also players?
Well, like you said, like it gives the fans a way, to support everyone on the team. Like regardless of who it is, like if you have a favorite player or anything, like you can directly like help them and like send them funds and stuff like that. So, and you also like it's real transparent, like where your money is going, like it's going directly to a player that you want to help support, like it's going straight to them. So that's something that I like.
And talk about like the impact. I mean, I know obviously you mentioned before, like athletes, I mean, anybody who makes any type of money in the world can use it however they want to. And I think that's forgot about a lot, like just because it's NIL or college sports. And I know that, there's a lot of like negativity involved around the word NIL from some fans, but a lot of fans don't realize the impact that athletes are able to make in general, but let alone with some of the NIL funds that they make. So, what's your take on that? And like, do you have an experience or a story to share about how either yourself or your teammates have like used some NIL earnings to actually really impact the community?
Yeah, well, I know some people like it's good for them because like some people, they don't come from the best like families and stuff like that. And if you're getting like a good amount of money from like NIL and stuff, like you pretty much can help your family, like you can help take care of your family and stuff like that with that money. And it's just like, it's not just all because, sometimes I think some people just think it's like, oh, like NIL, I got this money, like I'm just trying to be flashy. Like some people, they just trying to help their family. So, like it's not always just trying to be flashy. Like it's just like some people, they just trying to help their families and stuff like that. So that's my take on that.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think there's a lot of negativity spread around, but the point is that NIL is here to stay, and for the first time in a long time, first time in hundreds of years, athletes are actually earning the money or receiving the money that they earned, right? At least a portion of it. So, all right, well, I'm sure we could talk football and NIL for hours, but let's talk a little bit off the field. Like everybody knows Daylen as SEC championship MVP and pretty good at this sport called football. But what's Daylen like off the field? What are some passions you have? I know you like to fish, and you might have you're into cars a little bit. So talk about some of that stuff off the field.
Yeah, well, outside of football, if I'm not playing football, I'm probably like you said, fishing or playing a video game. Like I always play a video game. Like always try to find time to play with my brothers and my friends and stuff like that. Just because it's something to like help take your mind away from stuff and like have fun with like your family and like friends and stuff like that.
Where do you go fishing, and what's the best fish you caught?
When I was at IMG, like we didn't really have that much access, but like it was like ponds on campus and stuff like that. And I remember it was me and one of my teammates, and it was like we saw the fish, like we were fishing, and then like we saw a fish. It was like right up on like right by the land and stuff. So we saw it, and he was like, "Yo, that's a big fish." And then he looked at me, he was like, "Bro, you think we could get that?" And I was like, "Bro, I think so. Let's try." So then like we just threw we looked and we just threw the bait like right in front of where the fish was, and then like he bit it. So then like we had got it had to be like a 10-pound bass, and like that's just big just for being on that side, like on campus and stuff, because it's like it's not really like that many fish out there. So like just seeing that, it was crazy.
And you also have a new hobby that you picked up recently. You want to talk about that one?
All right. Well, yeah. Yesterday was my first day hunting, and I got my first deer. So whenever hopefully you get a picture of that. It was pretty cool. It was a crazy experience, I'll say.
And so we talk about all this stuff off the field. Like how important is that for you to, I guess sometimes log off, if you will? Like obviously you've been locked in and focused, and you're always focused during the season. But you need time to log off. Like is that how do you balance the the locked in and getting prepared for the game of the week, and then obviously academics, and then just taking time for you?
Yeah, but there's sometimes like time management is a big thing. Like that's one of the things like you really have to understand when you first get to college and stuff like that. But then like even like balancing the type of stuff that you have mentally, like if you just worried about like one thing too much, then you'll probably burn yourself, like mentally like drain yourself. So like you just gotta try to find things that help you relax and like help you like stay calm and like take your mind off of things to like so you don't get like overwhelmed with everything that's going on.
Yeah, and so what I guess last question here on off the field. Obviously we all know that you have future aspirations and you'll be an NFL player for hopefully many years, making lots of money. But outside the NFL and outside of playing football, we talked about some of your passions, but do you have any idea on what you might want to get into eventually later in life?
I'm not too sure. Like I said earlier, like I really have a big passion for cars and stuff like that. So like it would be cool like to do something in the automotive industry or something around that, or just try to find something that will fit me in my major, because I'm major in sports management. So probably something along those lines like would be pretty cool.
Well, you'll have a lot of options, but first you're locked in and focused on the now, and focused on getting to the highest level at your sport. So last question here, off the field stuff. If there's a younger audience listening, or a young athlete who wants to be exactly where you are now or achieve what you've achieved so far, what's some advice you would have for him or her?
Really, and like just believe in yourself, because there's a lot of people that like everyone has doubters. And, you know, it just really depends on how you like take that. Like if you let it just like bring you down, or if you let it fuel you, just to know that anything is possible. Like if you put your mind to it, like just if you keep your head down and keep working, just keep the main thing, that you can achieve a lot of your goals.
Great advice. All right, I promise this is the last thing I have for you. It's called the Roy Rundown Rapid Fire. I'm going to hit you with a bunch of quick questions, and the first thing that comes to your mind, you got to give me an answer.
All right.
All right, here we go. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
If you had to play a sport other than the one you're playing now, what would it be?
Basketball. I'm not the best hooper, but you know, like if I put as much time in football as I did basketball, I'll be good. Like I'll just have to grow a couple more inches.
No doubt. I love it. If you could have a dream NIL deal, what's one of the first companies that comes to your mind?
Probably Reese's. It's my favorite candy. So
who is one of the funniest people on the team?
My team, Christian Miller. He always finds a way to make you laugh. It's fun. He's hilarious.
If you could trade places with anyone in the world and live 1 year in their shoes, who's one of the first people that comes to mind?
I don't know. I never thought of that. I don't know. Maybe
you can just say yourself.
Yeah, I'll just keep it like that, yeah.
You want to keep living in your life. What is one of your biggest strengths?
Biggest strength, like on the field or?
Whatever you want, on the field, off the field.
Well, I could say I'm pretty good at remembering stuff. I mean, I feel like that's a good strength to have.
That is. Who is one of the first people to really believe in you?
My parents and my brothers. Just, you know, my family around me.
What's one of your biggest fears?
I'm not a big fan of like some type of bugs. It's not like all bugs, but you know, I don't like. It's just think like a bug that you like will see that you don't expect to fly, and you trying to like kill or something, and then it starts flying around like a bug like that. Nah, you got it.
I'm with you there.
Like a big spider, because spiders don't really affect me, but then like once you get them spiders that are like the size of your hand and stuff like that, that's when I'll probably just move out the house or something.
I'm with you there. And last question, if you can go back in time 10 years ago and give yourself, your former self, a piece of advice, what would it be?
Just keep going. Really, just because I know there's times, and when I was younger, where I really wanted to just give up. It was times I thought, like, I don't really know if I can do this. And just keep reassuring myself that I can just keep going, just keep your head down.
That's great. Well, look, man, that was awesome. I appreciate your time. We've enjoyed following your season here. We know you got many more wins to come and a lot more success coming your way. So thanks again for jumping on the pod, and we'll be watching over the next couple of weeks here your next game.
Yeah, appreciate you.